Alright, so I've been saying some not very nice things about Tears of the Kingdom lately, but despite that, I really don't want my view of this game to come across as negative. So in that regard, let's talk about one of Tears of the Kingdom's biggest strengths, its design. And of this game's design, one of the best aspects are the specific rune abilities that you have access to. If the Breath of the Wild runes gave players freedom, then the Tears of the Kingdom runes basically make them God, but in a way that still provides them with enough challenges to keep playing, which in the end is what all games strive for, to keep the player playing. So strap in, friends, as I explain why the Tears of the Kingdom runes are excellent game design. Ah yes, Ultra Hand. Definitely the internet's favorite rune in this game. This rune takes Breath of the Wild's Magnesis rune and says, let's do that, but with everything. This was a genius move since in Breath of the Wild, I often found myself annoyed that I could only use Magnesis on metal objects when I felt like I should have been able to use it on others. Clearly Nintendo realized this too, as pretty much any interactable object can be lifted and moved with Ultra Hand, providing players an opportunity to use almost anything that surrounds them as a means of puzzle solving and problem solving. But you don't want to hear me talk about Ultra Hand just for its ability to move stuff, right? No. Time to discuss Ultra Hand's real ability, the ability to attach things to other things. Now I've already mentioned freedom a couple of times here, but if you want to talk about player freedom, this lets players build pretty much anything they want to do anything they want. Want to get somewhere faster? Build a car. Want a form of entertainment? Torture Koroks. Want to blow up enemies without remorse? Build a fucking mech. Seriously, some of the stuff I've seen people online build with this ability has blown my mind. And to think that you can only attach a maximum of 21 objects together. Seeing some of these videos online, you can't even tell. This feature is going to make people want to come back to this game even after they've 100%ed it, as seeing just the crazy shit you can build with this ability is an experience by itself. It's going to be nearly impossible for me to go back to Breath of the Wild after using this ability, as I'll constantly be thinking about why I can't build a car to get places faster. There's more freedom in this feature alone than every ability in Breath of the Wild, something that I thought wasn't even possible just a few months earlier, but now I can't see the Zelda world without this feature in all its vehicle building, Korok torturing goodness. Listen to me when I say that this ability has single-handedly given stronger enemies a purpose. Whereas before all enemies had the same loser horns, making them all the same in terms of value, now they all have different horns depending on their color. And the stronger the enemy, the stronger the horn. And with Fuse, you can attach those stronger horns to your weapon, making it a hell of a lot stronger. This is genius, because now you finally have a reason to challenge stronger enemies. In Breath of the Wild, a player would have no reason to challenge a silver bokoblin over a bunch of orange bokoblins as they all dropped the same materials. Now, with silver bokoblins having much stronger horns, you'll want to take that horn to make stronger weapons to kill more enemies, to get even better weapons to kill even more enemies. Again, you want to make sure the player keeps playing, and this is a great way for creating a sense of need that's never truly satisfied. Though remember to at least take breaks and have other activities. Another reason why I like Fuse is that it really adds to the game's survivalist aesthetic. It's established early on that weapons all throughout the kingdom have been decayed, with very few exceptions. Even a royal broadsword, one of the most powerful weapons in the last game, can't even do 20 points of damage by itself. As a result, the player needs to use the Fuse ability to get weapons that can perform anywhere near as well as the weapons in the last game. This is once again a great example of letting the player choose what to do for themselves, as they can create weapons that cater to their own specific play style. A player's favorite weapon doesn't need to do a ton of damage, but the weapon that they have the most fun using. In Breath of the Wild, there were a few weapons that functioned differently, my personal favorite being the Lysol Tri-Boomerang, but those honestly felt like just another weapon with a quirk or two. But here, any weapon can do nearly anything you want. This weapon too boring? Put a flamethrower on it. Want to get a really long-ranged weapon? Attach a spear to a spear. Want to use a boomerang but it doesn't do enough damage? Attach something sharp to it and let it fly. Do you see what I mean? Now weapons no longer feel like the weapons that the developers put in, and rather feel like the player's own weapons. Weapons that they made for their own custom experience with this game. And that is beautiful. Now I don't have nearly as much to say about Ascend as I did Ultra Hand and Fuse, but just like those two, Ascend also boosts the player's ability to play their own way. When I first saw the Ascend ability, I thought it would be totally broken, and in some cases it is. From what I can tell, I'm not the only one who used it to cheese the Fire Temple. But for the most part, it normally functions as just another layer of convenience in case players don't want to make a tedious climb up a tall mountain, but can also provide a quick escape from a cave and a good way to navigate sky archipelagos. In simple terms, it gives the player even more freedom. Not much else to say. Very fun feature. I feel a similar way about Recall as I did with Ascend. Aside from a few puzzles that require its use, it helps provide the player with a potential do-over if they screw something up. I know the dev's main intention for its use was to reverse the flow of time on falling rocks to reach the sky, but that ability doesn't have nearly as much use thanks to the Skyview towers. So honestly, use this however you want. I will say, since it offers players a do-over, it gives them a level of control they didn't have before, though the longer you wait to use Recall, the less likely time will reverse long enough for that mistake to be undone. That's a very well thought out idea, as you want the player to have a level of control that encourages them to keep going, but not so much that they can feel like they can do anything. The fact that this ability exists is proof that Nintendo knows exactly how people work. Building something unique for the first time is amazing. So much pride and bragging rights to be had. But right after that, it's gonna be a drag to build it again. Not to mention that you might not even remember how to build it in the first place. But never fear, auto build is here. Being able to scan your history and immediately build something you've already made adds a whole other layer of player convenience, but also doesn't ruin the charm of the build as you've already had the satisfaction of building it yourself. Seriously, if this ability didn't exist, then Master Koga's reaction when you first get it would literally be every single player of this game if they had to build everything from scratch over and over and over. In addition, this ability also provides a good use for Zonite, incentivizing players to continue to collect it even after they've maxed out their battery power, once again circling back to the idea of getting a player to keep playing, so that even after they've completed everything, there's still more to do. So yeah, the new runes in this game absolutely slap, and it's clear that Nintendo designed them so that they'd fit into the different playstyles of different players. Even the runes I didn't have much to say about don't really offer any downsides that I can see. I suggest that game designers take notes about these runes, as this system was specifically designed around the players and their own creativity rather than the developer's preferred method of gameplay, and for that, I give this game a round of applause.